Hi, I'm Robbie Swale, and I'm making this video as part of my work supporting coaches to grow their impact and grow their businesses. My zone of genius, at least as I understand it now, is about sharing myself deeply, openly, and with love with the world. And that's what this video and the other two in this series are about. They're about me sharing my experience, my insights, myself, about three states or stages that I think coaches need to go through or can go through on their way to creating the business, the life, the impact that they really want deep down. And the reason that I want to make these videos, do this work with coaches, I write for coaches, I run a group program, is because I think coaching is an incredibly powerful tool. And I hope that I can be a part of unleashing just a little bit more of the power of coaching on the world. So in the first video, I shared about how I think it's commitment, making a commitment, and not confidence, which I think is mainly a con, which is what gets coaches on the journey. It's what they need in order to be serious about making that start, making the first big shift. And I spoke about how making a commitment is one thing, keeping that commitment, recommitting every day, especially when things go wrong, that's another thing. And the second shift, the one I'm going to talk about in this video, well, it's a shift that makes keeping that commitment, recommitting manageable on bad days, and exciting and inspiring on good days. It's the shift to believing that a successful coaching business is something I can create. Believing I can create it. It's the shift from victim, from there's nothing I can do here, I'm waiting for the world, to creator, to believing if I take these actions, I will create it. The victim, that leads to inaction. The creator, that's someone who acts in the world. I heard Diana Chapman from the Conscious Leadership Academy describe this shift, the shift of the world. My coaching business is just something that happens to me, to the world is created by me, as a shift from threat to trust. So it's deep. When we feel like we're a victim, we feel like things are out of control, we feel threat, we feel scared, we feel like things are scarce. Evolutionarily, it's part perhaps of that fight, flight, freeze reaction. When we're under threat, we do one of those things. And either way, we're not taking concerted action. At best, we're running or we're fighting. At worst, we're freezing. And there's the inaction. When we're the creator, we've learned to trust. In this case, trust. If I take these actions, then the business, the life, the impact that I want, it will come to me. Sometimes that trust does come through confidence. If we commit and we hold to that commitment, then in the end, we understand, we have the confidence. Remember, I spoke last time, confidence is a deeply held belief that our actions, the actions we take will lead to the outcomes we desire. But that's always a result of taking action, that we have that deeply held belief. So what I want to talk to you about in this video, that's about ways to speed up, ways to find things we can trust and build our business from that place. Because the truth is, you've been a creator in your life hundreds of times, in many different places. Maybe, for instance, you've, in your previous work, got a track record, a proven track record of creating results. Perhaps even creating clients there. At least you've got a record of creating relationships with friends, with family, with colleagues, with in-laws. Maybe you've got experience of creating a life for your child so that she can thrive and grow and live the life that she wants to live. Maybe it's something different. It's events. You've got experience of creating parties, creating your wedding, creating something different, some other kind of event in the world, creating a project, creating a result. And the game to trust faster that you can create the business that you want is to build that business from the things that you've already done hundreds, thousands of times, because you can already begin to trust them. I believe that's why thousands of people read an article I wrote about my story of coaching. They read that and they thought, well, these things, I think there were 7 things in that article. These 7 things, they're things I could do. I can trust just a little bit more, maybe just this bit more, this bit more, this bit more. That these will lead to the business if I just do these things. Partly because, I was telling the story openly and honestly that it had worked for me. And partly because they were all things that people felt they could do. Well, I can learn. In fact, I love learning. Or, I can send emails to people, especially heartfelt, authentic emails. Or, I can buy a coach. I can buy coaching and get a coach. In fact, I'd love to. Imagine if I could trust that was something which would lead to me growing the business that I really want, that would lead to me creating it. And I'll talk a little bit more about that, about doing our own work in the next video. It's this, having things which we've done before in our life and building our business from there, that I think makes the book, The Prosperous Coach, so powerful. It's a book by Rich Litvin and Steve Chandler, and one of the core principles in it is you're a coach. You're great with people. So spend time with people. Make your business, growing your business, about that. Not about hiding behind a computer. Not about whatever else you might think it is. Make it about speaking to people, about coaching them powerfully, about opening up conversations. People read that book and they think, wow, I could do that. I could do this thing that they're talking about. Ideas like that, like the ones I wrote about, which were inspired massively by The Prosperous Coach, and the ones that Rich Litvin and Steve Chandler wrote about, they can shift you into creator. And you can feel it when that happens. You can feel the difference. I remember a time I really felt that shift. I was still training to be a coach at the time, but I was getting to the place, it was before the story I told in the first video, I was getting to the place, I knew I was in it, I was pretty sure I was in it for the longer term. I was working in a small leadership company at the time in Somerset House, in some offices there. It's a big old building in London. And I sent a message around the tenants newsletter so that other companies, other people whose companies were based in that building, they would get an email from me or a message from me in the email. And it said, I'm looking for practice clients. Would anyone be interested? I got 5, 6 responses. And I was on a call at the time. I just had those responses, I think, with a woman called Carolyn Freyer-Jones as part of a training course by the brilliant online training organization Coaches Rising. And I asked Carolyn a question. I said something like, I've got these people. What can I do to help them become clients, to make it more likely? And she beautifully didn't answer my question. And I think that's because she saw an opportunity to serve me in more powerfully by helping me shift into creator, by helping me see that I could create it. Because where I was like, I've got these 6 people. I need to do this super well. I need to really get this right. Otherwise, those 6 people are gone. I can't write to the newsletter again, and I'm back to square one, and it's out of my control, and I'm the victim. So instead what she said was, well, how about this instead? And she gave 2 ideas actually, one to me and one to someone else, and I could feel the energy as I heard them. They were about invitation. And I'd read about, in The Prosperous Coach, about invitation, but I didn't know how to do it. And the ideas were these. First, sit and think, who would you be inspired to coach? And then write to them, or call them up. I write because I'm 33, so calling people up, people my age, sometimes feels a bit weird. But maybe call them up if you can, and say, well, look, I got this advice from another coach, and you can do this. I got this advice from another coach to just sit and think sometimes about who in the world would I be inspired to coach, and then just reach out to them and offer them that gift. And I thought of you, and here's why. And then get really specific. Why are they inspiring? And then even the invitation is a gift to them. And then say, make it real. Look, you don't have to do this. There's no pressure to say yes. And there's no pressure to become a client if you do. But this is a gift I'm able to offer right now. I thought of you. That was the first one. The second was, think of the people you know who might refer people to you because they know you and they trust you in some way, and they've got a great network. And then reach out to them and say, well, look, I know, I did this to like a guy I went to university with. Like, I know you like me and you might refer people to me. But if you, and he's got a great network, but if I want people to refer, if I want you to refer people to me, well then the best way for you to do that is to have experienced working with me. So I'd love to offer you a coaching conversation. We'll sit down, we'll work on whatever's important to you. It'll be a great way to connect maybe as well. But also, then if you meet someone, you'll really know if I'm the right person to refer them to. And those two things, those two invitations, they shifted me straight into creator. I could feel the energy. Emailing the Somerset House mailing list and hoping people reply. I can only do that a couple of times maybe, and it's all to them. But the invitations, well, they're a practice I can repeat over and over again. I can create from there. And isn't that powerful? There's no scarcity. There's just possibility. One of the challenges, one of the places we as coaches slip into victim, is we're a victim of I have to do it this way. There are so many messages out there of this is the way to do it. One of my clients put it beautifully and with a lot of frustration. Everyone is telling me this is the one way that I need to build a coaching business. That's really annoying, right? And it also gets us into scarcity. It gets us into confusion, gets us into threat. Well, if there's only one way, and I have to do it this way, well, then I better get it right. I better get the way that I do it right. And that's threat. That's victim. It's out of my control. I don't know what's right. The beauty of shifting to creator is that you don't have to do these things. You don't have to have a niche. You don't have to go on Twitter or LinkedIn or Snapchat or Instagram. You don't have to have a Facebook ad and a marketing funnel and a detailed business plan. You don't have to write a blog. You don't have to host a podcast. You don't have to be full-time to create the lifestyle and business that you want deep down. You don't have to have a small practice of high-paying, high-performing clients. You don't have to do any of the things that I said I did in my story. You certainly don't have to make YouTube videos. Have to. Should. Those are the stories of the victim. I choose to. That's the story of the creator. Rich Litvin, author of The Prosperous Coach, he chooses to believe that if someone says no to working with him, it's because he hasn't served them powerfully enough. He chooses to believe that. That's what enables him to trust that in the long game, if he serves people so powerfully that they remember the conversation for the rest of their life, then in the long term, because he's committed to his work, he knows that'll pay back. Also, do you see how it gets him into creator? He can serve people more powerfully. That's down to him, serving people as powerfully as he can. And also, do you see how it pulls him into developing his craft? It's a powerful way to choose. I choose to believe, based on and inspired by The Prosperous Coach, that if I keep connecting with people in a really human way, if I keep inviting people into coaching conversations in the way that Carolyn suggested or in other ways, if I keep coaching as well as I can and learning how to coach even better, and if I think that I could do some powerful longer term work with people, if I keep asking them if they'd like to hear about that, and if they say yes, telling them about how to work with me, if I do those 4 things, I trust that I will create the kind of business that I want to be a part of for the long term. Connect, invite, create a powerful coaching experience, and ask people, would you like to hear what it's like to work with me? those things, they become my compass. Partly at first, I trusted it because they sounded like things I could do. I'd done them before. Partly because Rich and Steve said they were a great way to go. And now I've got the confidence to back that up. That came pretty quickly. And I could trust the energy. I could feel the energy of the creator as I did those things. One of the coaches who was on my group program for coaches last year, she gave me some great feedback at the end. And when I got this feedback, I'm going to read it from my notes. This is about when I decided I need to run that program again. This is great. She said, through this work, I've been able to develop a way of reaching out to my clients that feels authentic to me. Well, that's wonderful. That's the game, right? She can create from there. That coach also shared with me another place where we sometimes slip into being a victim of our models, of our coach training, in our direct one-on-one work with clients. Perhaps we become a victim of our expectations of a coach or of what we think our clients' expectations are. I have to be very serious. I have to sit up straight. I have to run 60 minutes coaching sessions, and I have to always run to time. I have to only use what I learned on my coaching course. I have to always start with a question about the goal, or I have to go from here to here to here in the coaching session. Now, best practice is best practice for a reason. And the frameworks we get taught in our training, they're a powerful way to soup up the skills that we naturally have. And frameworks like the ICF's core competencies, they're what help us know and other people that coaching is a profession. We've got standards. But sometimes those things, those models, that training, instead of empowering us, instead of allowing us to pour our skills through this thing which will make them even bigger, through this prism, sometimes they become restricting. We become a victim of them. That's why watching other people coach is so powerful. We think, oh, I wouldn't have done that. I could do that next time. But would I? And that, seeing the possibilities and then choosing, that's the creator. So why am I so sure that this is the right way to go? That it isn't that there is the right way to build a business and the right way to coach? Well, that's because I believe what Robert Holden believes. So to slightly paraphrase him, I believe the next level of success is available to you if you dare to be more fully who you are. The victim thinks there's one way to do this, only one way, the right way. But the creator knows that the prospective clients, the people you could do your best work with in the world, they'll be spoken to most if you dare to be on your website, in your marketing, yourself out in the world. They'll be spoken to most if you dare to be more fully who you are. That's when they'll want to work with you. The creator knows that in your one-on-one work, as you're speaking to clients, they'll be transformed the most. They'll achieve the things they want to achieve the most. They'll feel more themselves if you dare to be more fully who you are. The skeptics might be thinking, well, who says that's true? I would say, I don't care if it's true. What I know is if I choose to believe that, that gets me into creator. Creator is where I take action. That's the game. That's how I stay on the road. That's how I stay committed for the long game. By understanding that the world is created by me, not happening to me. To choose to believe that I can affect the world, that it's in my control, not out of it. To move to trust, not threat. To move to creator, not victim. So get out there. Create it. Thank you for watching. I hope you've taken insights away from this video. It's been powerful for me to create it. And a pleasure. I can feel my energy now, creator, right in this moment. If you're interested in learning more about what I have to say, check out the other videos in the series. There's more videos that I've made on YouTube on everything from pricing to how I structure an engagement to my first conversations. And if you'd like to do some more work, well, consider joining my group program. We'll get into this stuff. We'll get into more. I'll support the coaches who join to build their business, and coach more fully as who they are. And that's exciting. That's about unleashing power. And I'd love to hear from you. If you want to reach out, I love talking about coaching. So email me at hello@robbieswalecoaching.com or place a comment on YouTube or LinkedIn, wherever you're watching this. Thanks for watching. Good luck.